You guys already know we're back. Another episode of the Shift Emotion podcast. If you have not yet already.
Yeah.
What's Siri say? How's you feeling today?
Siri said, "F you, Jacques, you black bitch."
If you guys are new here, go ahead. Thank you for listening, liking, subscribing, sticking with us through hard times. We know we've been absent. We've been absent. They've missed us. We've been absent. We have not been providing the awesome podcast we normally do.
Let's be honest. They're like,
what's happening, Jack?
Nobody,
what's happening?
nobody checked in for Shift Emotion. Nobody even said that we missed those.
No,
guys.
on the real though, I get a good amount of DMs on being like, "Oh, I love listening to your podcast at work. Where's your podcast? When are you filming your podcast?"
Damn.
We're letting our people down, Jack.
Damn, I get no DMs. So people just hate black people. I see how y'all feel. I see how y'all.
Is that the theme of this podcast?
Yeah, racism. That's what we're gonna talk about. Unsolicited racism. Boy, hey guys. Thanks for sticking with us.
Do we have an excuse this time for not having anything uploaded in like 2-3 weeks?
Honestly, we do. It's called life. Life happened. A lot of things happened. And Danny has some great news to tell you guys too about life.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll get into it in a little bit.
Question of the day, though. Let's not forget about question of the day.
Question of the day.
Yeah,
Let's go. All right,
I love a question of the day.
Question of the day is right there. Did you hear it or no? Wait, what's a good question of the day? I didn't think this through. Come on, Jack.
A good question of the day. If you could.
Actually, no. Okay, I have a good question.
Okay.
So, if you could, it's about cars.
Okay.
But I'm curious. I'm actually curious.
What
What is your dream build for a car, or dream car?
What does that even mean?
Let us know. Like a dream build's like whenever you build up a car.
Okay, but like you just
Like-
buy a Lamborghini, you get everything in there.
I mean, not everybody wants to be. That's why I also said dream car though.
Oh, so you mean that you could go crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, then in that case, I want like if you guys ever seen Black Panther, you see like the flying ships that they had. I want those, but in wheels and with like thrusters and like vibranium armor around it. That goes like 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds, faster than the Tesla Model S, 100%.
Sounds like fun.
That'd be hard though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We're rusty. We're new to podcast. It's actually our first ever podcast. Actually, what podcast is this? Podcast number like 15? 14, 15, 16? True. So, next podcast is actually something really interesting, something new. It didn't turn off? All right, my bad, Jack. I just made Jack get up. I like this podcast, man. I missed it. I really did. Because we can just sit down and just talk about everything.
Yeah,
like,
I
talk
agree.
about anything.
Anything we wanna do.
But
we
yeah,
can.
so the next podcast is something new we've never done. And notice
guys,
how
guys, it's
pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
cool. Look out for that. Danny's been working
And this
hard.
is something that I want to start doing at least maybe once a week.
once a week.
We
can't.
We're gonna figure out the format though,
1000%.
because it does take a long time to film a video like that, especially doing what we did. But with that being said, Jack,
Hold on though, but are you also going to talk about the Are you also going to talk about the guest format that we're going to do, or are you just gonna save that for another?
okay. I mean, yeah, we can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you think so? Or do we just not have more of a concrete plan of what we want to do?
So we don't have like a very concrete plan, but when it comes down to guests, where we live, it is pretty difficult to get
right
interesting guests to
in
have
the
on
time,
the podcast.
in the era too, like with COVID and everything. It's kind of
And
hard.
during COVID,
yeah, it's really hard.
and a lot of people are just busy 24/7, and that includes me with like 20,000 car things I have to do,
Same.
not counting the 6+ hours of editing that I have to do.
Yep. You get
Jack works a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, and those aren't excuses. That's just real life.
No,
that's
dude,
what-
that's
how
just
things
life.
are.
That's just life. You know?
So, the guests might slow down a little bit, but we are going to continue to shoot for one podcast a week.
But one thing that I can say that me and what Danny talked about, because we listen to the feedback that we get from you guys, and we also read the comments, and the ones that we notice you guys really enjoy, we kind of talked about it off camera. That raw excitement that me and Danny bring, we will do our absolute best. Every guest that we bring, me and Danny would sit down, brainstorm to see if it's a good match. You know, not because the person can be interesting.
Absolutely.
The person can be interesting. I mean, for example, you could have Elon Musk come in here, but he's super boring. But nobody wants that. You know, he can make a terrible time. But he's just about. Is it a good match and does it fit? And there's a very cute baby distracting me right now. The cutest little thing.
Her water bottle's half the size.
The
of
little
her.
the water bottle's already half her size, so I apologize.
I'll take it.
But yeah, so like I was saying, everything, any guest is very thought out, is very thought thoroughly, and they bring something to the table, but not just their background, they're interesting, but also like energy wise, vibe.
Absolutely,
because you guys love it.
So we're gonna figure that out. Do not worry.
Yeah.
And then we also got the cool little series, which we'll see the first part next week.
First part
or-
next week,
Right,
or
yeah, next week, or maybe.
Well,
Well,
you
yeah.
know what? When he drops, he drops. You guys will
All right,
see it.
let's do that.
Let's do that. When he drops, he drops.
But yeah, I'm excited,
it's
man.
lengthy. It's a lot of, Danny can explain and we can explain. It's a lot of. There's a lot that goes into it. But trust me, guys, it's gonna be awesome when he drops. And please give us feedback about it too if you guys like it. But yeah,
How you doing, Jack?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Good vibes.
Everything's
I
good.
feel good. I look good.
Well, I feel horrible, man.
You feel horrible? Damn, can't relate. I feel great.
No, everything. Wait, is the last time they saw us when you were just like got over COVID? Is that the
I think
episode?
so. I think that was the last time they saw us.
Any relapse?
Any relapse? No relapse at all. I got a little scared actually. Thank you for mentioning that. I got a little scared because I woke up one day with a terrible taste in my mouth.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I was like, no, there's
That's
no
bad.
way. Yeah, but
Well,
it was just something.
Talking about sicknesses.
Yeah.
Have I ever mentioned here in the podcast what my grandpa's going?
You never did. You only told me off camera. I don't think you've ever mentioned that.
I
on
think
camera.
I have mentioned it once in the podcast.
Not on the podcast. Maybe on your own personal channel because I would have remembered.
Okay,
that.
I'll mention it though. So for the past, I would say, man, 4-5 months, my grandpa has been going through cancer. It is a small cell cancer, so it is probably like one of the worst kinds there is, because there's small cells that can spread out anywhere.
Right.
And he's been going through
Therapy,
chemo, along with radiation. We've been going to the doctor with him, every doctor visit and whatnot. And today, we just got the great news. Thank God that
God
he
is
is
good.
indeed cancer free.
God is good.
As of today, they're obviously gonna keep shaking up on him because you don't know if it's gonna come back in 3 months, a year, or never. But as of right now, my grandpa is cancer free, and we're so happy. Honestly, we're praying that those are the best news that you could ever get. Yeah, so
no,
applauding
seriously.
because
Seriously.
he's
No,
in his
that's awesome
70s.
because guys, we know.
In his 70s,
Like
and he
the moment you say the word cancer, I think everybody heart drops.
Yeah.
Because you know what that represents.
It
you know what
sucks,
that is.
man.
Dude, it sucks. It really does. But bro, when you told me that, I was super happy. He made it through.
Yeah.
And you can just look for better days now. And I hope he has 100, 200 more years to go. For as long as God wants to keep.
How
him
long
on
do you
this
want to
earth.
live until?
Forever. I'm lying. No, I wouldn't do that. Enough to
I'm
see.
shooting for 370.
Wow. Can I walk off now or no? Like, can I leave? Nah, for me, bro, I'll put it like this. Honestly, I'll be good. I wouldn't put an age on it. I'll just say this: to see my family secured, generational wealth. As long as I can see that I've built generational wealth for my family, I'll be happy to leave the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like generational wealth, and in accomplishing all the things that I've set out to, all the goals for myself, I'm fine. Cause some of the goals that
Absolutely.
I have are super long term, and I probably won't get to them until I'm like 60 or whatever. But as long as I could do that,
I think this is just imagining things. I think when you're like 90, and you can sit down and be like, damn, I did everything I wanted to do in life. That must be the
most
the
satisfying
best feeling in the world. And thinking that ahead, now you're like, damn, to be able to get to there, I could have one lazy day, but I can't have lazy days every day and
100%.
just kind of go about it like whatever.
But can I tell you something though? When I was younger, I actually wanted to live to forever because I like tech, and tech always evolves, and I want to see the new
for real.
technology they'll come up with. But then what changed that perspective for me was when I watched this show called I mentioned it to you before. Castlevania. When I saw the first season of Castlevania, right?
Is that the anime?
Yeah, the animation I was talking to you about. I've heard that concept before, the concept of living forever, and that concept of like you see all the loved ones leave you, and what's life without love? But you don't really grasp what that means, because why do you live, right? When you really think about it, like the love and the idea of being together, in the idea of like togetherness, is so entrenched in you, just baser instincts, right? The idea and the fact that you know that you can never be part of any group because they're gonna die off, and you can never have any relationships with anybody or any connection because you're gonna outlive them. You're gonna see everyone that you care about die, bro. That sounds like hell to me. When you really stop it, right? Because you can't. So what? You're gonna be in power forever? Like, what's at some point? What's left? You know what I mean? Like, what's left? Like, where do you grow from there? I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Maybe that's just how I thought. But I was like, I'm good.
Because that would be such a lonely life, just knowing that you'd have unless you have like a purpose as to why you're alive.
True.
And like interactions and meeting new people doesn't really matter.
Right.
Which that's a form of like living. Like you're gonna have to meet new people, and you're gonna have to.
But but unless your purpose is literally like to conserve or to make sure like the human race goes a certain direction, I mean, not
or like
that's
you
a
have
good
to like
point.
create something. I don't know.
But that's a great point. Though, what if the fact that you know you can live forever, you can set the course of history how you like? What if that's your purpose? So, for example, what if your purpose is to never for the world to never see another Hitler ever, or a tyrant ever? And you could make that happen because you live forever. You have connections to certain people. You have probably have a lot of money, right? A lot of things. Right. So like I was saying, it's the idea that unless you have that, you can set that purpose for yourself. Okay, I'm alive to do this specific thing, to make sure that there's never another tyrant. For example, there's never another tyrant. Then at that point, then I guess that's your reason to live. You don't care about me and other people. Your sole purpose is there'd never be another dictator.
Right.
But what do you do in between waiting for that dictator? Like, what is there?
Yeah.
Like, how many women?
Tricky.
Like what are the pleasures of life? How many things can you buy? How many women could you sleep with? Like, at what point do you just like that? Like, intrinsic love is gone. Like, you're just living to live. But to me, that sounds terrible though. The first few years probably be fun.
No, dude,
100%.
I'd say like the first 10 years, 100.
100.
That's if you live forever, correct?
If you live forever, yeah.
Okay.
The first, all right, the point where you were supposed to die, you haven't died yet. The first 100 years after that would probably banger, a solid banger.
I think that. Oh, do you know that? Do you live forever without knowing you're gonna live forever, or you know you're gonna live forever?
I think for most people, once you hit 100 and you haven't aged at all, I'm pretty sure at that point you know you live forever.
Because if you don't know and you see people die off at first, those first 100 years are gonna be painful.
Yeah.
Then after that, it might get better.
You might get better.
And then you might be like, wait, it's just everything's happening over and over again. I'm meeting people, they're dying, I'm still alive.
Yeah, and you know that's why it would suck to be a vampire.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, they suck. Or unless you turn your lovers, then now if you could turn the person you love into said thing, now at that point, yeah, I'm down to live forever, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, and the kids die off, we make new ones. That's cool. You just whatever. Make them live forever too.
Wait, why not make the kids? Yeah,
right.
Make
them live forever too.
Yeah, like that.
But I think so let me ask you. So let's segue to this one. What do you think? Would you in any instance where you could save your wife or save the kids, who would you save in that instance? Because you can make more kids, but you can't have another wife.
Stop, Jack.
I'm just realistically think about it for a second.
That's horrible, dude.
How?
Because you can have another wife.
But which one's easier to do? Get another person.
Okay. This is my answer. My answer. It's horrible to choose, but as a parent, when you have a kid,
that's true. Your
responsibility is to do anything and everything to make sure that kid is good. And that goes both ways for both parents. So both parents should choose the child. I know, yeah. So the child, the kid. Because I know that's what she would want me to do.
Right.
And that's what I would want to do. Because
Right.
we're old. The child's still young. He has much more life in him.
Right,
Slash her.
and I agree 100%. Where in the fact that you should never bury your child, your child should always bury
Why
you.
are we talking? This is
It's
such
okay.
a dark.
It's not dark at all. These are late night thoughts. People have them all the time. But it's the idea that it's like, to me, it's like, so I saved them. Now I'm a single parent raising 2 kids in this world called life. And on top of that, I have to
And you're
go
gonna
find
feel-
another wife.
No, you don't have to. It just depends who you are.
I mean, I guess. I
And
don't
trust
know.
me, you're gonna feel much more, not accomplished, much more happier knowing that you saved your kids.
Sure. Until they break my kitchen, I was like, I should let y'all die. Look, now I'm playing, guys. No, but I see what Danny means. I just want to throw it out there. Write down in the comments, what would you do? Because I can see both sides, honestly. I mean, of course, I'll go
Oh,
with
yeah, I
Danny's. I'll go with Danny's point as well. Because I like the fact that it is your job to, to take care. They didn't ask to be
you're
born.
bringing kids into this world.
Right.
You're their protector. They're everything. You're everything they know.
1,000%. So, yeah.
That
Dark
being
topic.
said, I'm not having kids.
You're not?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
We're like
I'm not,
20.
though. Right, babe? I'm not having kids.
With that being said, there was something I want to talk about. Okay, so I want to talk about this because I've never been so involved in a case.
Oh,
So
right.
you were saying you don't know who Gabby Petito is.
Absolutely not.
That's kind of crazy. So, I'll tell you.
I'm sorry I don't live on the internet, sir.
Not even, man. It's just been everywhere.
I've never heard, even my coworkers have never talked about it.
That's crazy. All right, so
That's crazy.
this girl, as I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, this girl,
How?
I don't know. I'm just
Oh yeah,
eating
they're
alive.
racist. They're like white meat better.
Yeah, they're like white, juicy, buff meat.
Sure. What's wrong with dark meat, Danny? What's wrong with that? Huh? Yeah, that's where we at, chat.
Gabby Petito, a 22-year-old girl. She wanted to start a YouTube channel, so she went camping.
Oh, she's a YouTuber.
Yeah, well.
She wants to be part of the conversation.
So she went camping with her husband.
What? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. What state? Where did this take place at?
This happened. So they're from here,
Oh, they're from Florida.
but they went like all around the U.S. I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to
I
get a
don't exactly know where it was.
Yeah. No, that's fine, but I just want to get some type of like location set
Right,
in my
right,
head.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they make a YouTube video. You can literally go see it. Has millions of views now.
Cause of
Right.
right.
Well, you can see that they're happy and whatnot. They want to start this YouTube journey. They went, when it's like van life, they wanted to do that. She goes missing, or her parents don't hear from her for 2 weeks, and they say that she's missing.
Right.
But her husband came back to his house in her van, and she's missing.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. So her and her husband went on a trip around the United States.
She's
to
missing,
go
and
camping.
he came back to his house to his parents. Went
And
on a camping trip
what
with
did
his
he
parents.
Say?
I don't know. Went on a camping trip with his parents. Girl still missing.
So the husband comes back to go to a camping trip with the parents.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. I guess I can say what I'm gonna say later on
Okay.
because it'll make a little more sense.
Okay.
But
Oh yeah, I'm getting
the police they're
Yeah,
biting him. The police go to his house. They're like, oh, we wanted to talk to you, whatever. Guy's hiding in the basement. They can't talk to him because they don't have any
search warrants.
warrants or anything. So they
Right.
leave. Gabby's still not found. Everything starts getting a little more crazy because why is the guy back and this girl's still missing?
Right.
The parents say that the last text from her don't seem like it was her. Same as her friends. She said like, "Grandpa's calling me" or whatever, but she named him by his name. Could you check up on him? And that's just not usual.
That's
Gabby,
not
they're saying.
right.
So he did something to her. He did something to her.
He did
Then
something to her.
police cameras, footage was released that they were actually pulled over because they were having an altercation in the car, and I guess it hit a curb or whatever. And she's crying, and they actually separate them for the night. And his face was full of scratches from her and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
And she was saying that I forgot, but they were crying. They had an altercation. You can find this video on YouTube. And the police takes him to a hotel, and she stays in the van, separate. But yeah, so they keep looking for her, looking for Gabby. They find her body. Sadly, they find her body at one of the parks that we're staying at. Camping. The guy's still not found.
So he's on the run now.
He's been on the run for like 2 weeks. No one has found him. That's the case.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's
super sad, man.
That sucks, man.
They seem like I'm gonna show Jack from my phone right now, like the little video of them, and let's see.
Guys, for a woman, for 0.1% woman viewer who's here, no, but in all seriousness though, guys, if you know somebody, especially women, they're vulnerable. Keep an eye on your sister, friends, family, because these things happen, and just I don't know, because I have 2 sisters of my own, and both of them men that they are married to. That's a video?
That's the video. That's the first video they made.
But that's her?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they've done this before. How long they? Because I'm guessing, because based on what you've told me, how they were pulled over, they were fighting. I'm guessing they fought before because it was such a norm to them for him to have scratches, on his face.
Bro, it's just weird because they seem like such a normal couple, like going on a van life trip. Like Christopher loves like van life and just going into the
Bro, never,
like just like a
never take anything for face value because people always
right.
have
It just seems so normal, like they're
No.
living their best life, going in a van life, and like just
Do
like
you,
that.
do you watch the show Mindhunters?
No, I haven't.
It's a great, and you see why this makes sense. It's a great show about, because in the early real quickly, basically in the 1970s, for some reason it was like the bedrock for serial killers, right? And at the time, America, the world, always had this fictional idea of their mind: a serial killer, somebody who has a hoodie, who has a hoodie, who looks very mean, who always has a frown, and so they never so serial killers would always go unnoticed, and then there was a special investigative team to actually look into those and to teach certain all cop precincts across the country, specifically in the United States, of what a serial killer actually is. And the one key point they said, they're like, they look just like you and me. And they're in some instances they're even more normal than you and me. During day they can control their emotions in public, and they're very charming. And
you know who that further, like everything you're saying right now. You know who it reminds me of?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy actually had girls come because he was so handsome, so polite, so well-mannered, so intelligent, all right, that he had girls later coming to the court saying that he did do it. He was framed, and he managed to get a girlfriend while he was in jail, and got her pregnant and had a child.
It's so weird.
It's so weird to me.
People are like,
exactly.
I guess you could say they fangirl or
fangirl over
both
these
men and female,
right?
Over these serial. It's just so weird to talk about.
But the thing is, now these things probably gonna happen, right? Because we become accustomed to it. But back then, you have to understand, a dude that was this intelligent, this well-mannered, charming, and just very down to earth, how could somebody like that ever do something like this? And that's what serial killers are. And that's why they're not, I wouldn't say they're not around anymore, but it got harder because, one, we know how to detect people. Like, for example, one of my rule is, if somebody's too nice, I don't trust you. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Cause
that's true.
I'm serious. I'm 100%.
But in that case, very sad, man. I was really praying and hoping that she was found alive, but sadly she wasn't. And I hope that they find him. I really do, because he's been on the run.
Hope they find that piece of garbage. I really hope.
That's, bro. Especially when having a girl, your job is to protect her. Man,
I think what it is, then, you have to also understand, like, not everybody's raised the way that we are. There are some scumbags of the year. There are people that were raised in a household where they would see their father beat their mom and they think it's normal to do. So that's not their behavior.
That's very true.
That's why, but that's not an excuse for them to do what they do, because you do get older.
That's why parenting is so important, huh?
Extremely important. And once again, to serial killers I was talking about before, the common link with not all of them, but the common rule is that terrible childhoods, and neglected parent,
and you know what's another huge common link? Pornography.
Oh yeah, true. There is it
Woo.
because they devalue women. They devalue
Yeah.
women. Correct. I mean, there was even a study, not a study, but there was even this idea that pornography is one of the main reasons why, because it was so widely accessible around that time, and a lot of these young men were neglected. Who did not have a parenthood to teach them the difference between how to treat a woman. So they kind of devalued them just as sex materials. Like what's his name? The guy that turned himself in. He was really tall. Oh my! He was like 6'5", 6'4". If you guys know what I'm talking about, but he turned himself in, and part of the reason is he cut his mom's head off, right? But before he did that though, the mom would abuse him verbally and made him feel less of a man. And every woman that he saw his mom. He cannot get over the fact. And funny enough, he killed 6 women before he killed his mom, including both of his grandparents. He said that the reason that all those women that he killed just gave him the courage to kill his mom, because he didn't mean to kill them. He just kept seeing his mom through them. So really, all he needed to kill was his mom, but he just didn't have the courage to do so. Then eventually, after killing all those women, he then ended up killing his parents.
Oh my god,
Kills mom.
that
Yeah.
is like
Yeah, look at it. It's wild. A lot of these people are mentally messed up from childhood. It's not the. And that's. I'm not saying
that's
excuses
so
the
ba-
fact.
No. There's no.
But you feel for them though. You're a child. You don't know. Like you grew up like this. Nobody was able to.
But here's the thing: a lot of people are raised like that, but they become such a strong, great person.
With the proper guidance, 100%. But
Not
these
even with the
people-
proper guidance.
I don't think it's possible to have a terrible childhood and just go through our life like that with no guidance, because you're gonna draw from your experience as a child.
I guess when you say guidance, I'm thinking of like literal guidance directly. Because you can see like how, let's say you're somewhere in a restaurant and you see that guy open the door for her, and then they sit down and be so happy. You're like, okay, I want that. You know?
But how would you know? But what I'm trying to say is how would you know you want that? How do you know that's the right thing to do? Because right from wrong, because one of the very first things, like psychology, that's why parenthood matters so much, because your very first introduction to the world is through your parents. You learn right from wrong from them. And that's that.
You know, it's funny. Do you think we're born with?
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Yeah, I remember this question.
Do you think you're born with like a good in you, or like an evil, or just like a neutral ground?
Actually, funny enough, I actually think you're born evil. Like you're born inertly selfish, because our baser instinct is to survive. And if that means you have to lie and do negative things to survive, then you will. Because I mean, for example, look at a child, right? Like, for example, nobody taught a child how to lie, but they would lie to get out of a punishment, right? But the parents did not teach them how to lie. But because there's a thing called punish, because they would be punished, and they don't want to be punished, in a sense, surviving, they would lie. But they never learned how to lie before. I've seen with my own nieces, they never learned how to lie. But because they don't want to be punished for something bad that they did, they would lie instead of telling the truth. I think that.
Then again, I feel like
we're born
lying and the extreme of committing such a serious crime. There's like a huge.
But
and you might say it gradually keeps going up and up and up and up.
Yeah,
and like
and I was gonna say
worsens.
I agree, but it starts with little things. And for example, you know a common thing between serial killers? They love to kill animals. They love killing. But so if you see your son kill a rodent, that's normal. And then he kills a bird. Then he goes to a bigger animal, a dog. Those are not wrong things, but at some point you gotta start saying, why does my son like killing animals? A lot of these serial killers had that in common. They all killed their family pet. You know, so it's like one of those things. I don't know. You just have to be mindful of like, your child and how he, operates or whatever. But,
All right. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but I don't like talking about these things.
No, but I mean, you're right. I get it. But I mean, I just find it fascinating that there are people like that among us.
I don't find it
today.
fascinating. I find it interesting.
No, I'm
Fascinated is like intrigued in like a happy way.
I'm not saying I'm happy. I'm fascinated since like, how did they get to that point? How do you just not care about human life like that?
You're not fascinated on the person. You're fascinated on how do they get to them.
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
Because if you understand that, then we could cure them. Cause, for example, Danny, if you put them in a psychiatric ward,
you said it.
Huh?
Right guidance.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. For example, Danny, like if you remember the symptom comparison I made. Like for example, if you're coughing, I give you cough medication for the cough, but the cough is caused because you have like lung failure. Cure the lung, then you cure the cough.
Yeah.
You understand the past? You could, I don't.
All right, Jack.
Yeah.
Let's switch topics because that's.
Yeah. No, yeah, I got you.
What else can we talk about?
I think that's literally what we want to talk about. But let's just do a topic just so we can end it.
Oh, okay. I want to end it on a funny, happy note.
Oh, go ahead.
So last week, Christabel, me and her family and whatnot went to the beach.
Okay.
We're having fun at the beach. When I'm with Christabel, I just give her my phone and just put it wherever.
Right, I remember that.
I just give her my phone. I'm like, put it whatever. I don't care. And I'm not usually like that. I'm usually always have my phone with me and whatever. But I'm like, wait, where's my phone? That was we're leaving. We checked everywhere, every bag, nothing. Oh, is it in that bag? Nothing. Is it in my car? No. Is it inside the little chair I was sitting? Nope. My phone could not be found anywhere. We're calling. Nothing. I'm like, wow. At first, it was like, nah, I had it with me. I even turned around and I was like, do I have everything? Yes, I do. Keep walking. So I wasn't too worried because I'm like, I know I have my phone with me. I've never lost my phone. It's fine. We're chilling. Then that turned into 10 minutes of looking for my phone.
Okay.
Nowhere to be found. And before those 10 minutes, I was like, Christabel, can you track my phone through your phone? Because she knows my location. I always give her my location. No, I don't have signal. I'm
Damn.
like, okay. Oh, there goes that. And 10 minutes passed, and I'm like, wow, well, what am I going to do now?
What you could have. Okay, go ahead.
And then her brother walks up to me and he's like, I found your phone. She was able to get the location. I guess she walked to a spot where she had signal. And, dude, we were literally, Jack, I was seeing my little dot move where my phone was.
Yeah, that's hard.
And we were, like, running through the beach. Dude, you drop your phone at the beach. You're probably never going to see that thing again.
100%.
100%.
100%.
We were running behind the phone. I'm running. It was at Wiggins Pass.
Oh, Wiggins Pass.
Wiggins
yeah.
Pass.
Okay.
I'm like running. I'm running through the beach. Nothing. It's like, okay, make a left here. Into the bathroom. I hear people in the stalls. I'm like, they have my phone. I walk in pissed. Have you guys seen my phone? Or a phone? No, we haven't. I'm like, okay. I leave. And then I look at Christian outside the stall. And he goes like this. Like, they're right there. And I was like, but there's no one in the stall. I go around the stall. And there's a couple watering their feet and whatnot. And I'm like, do you guys happen to have found a phone? And they're like, yes, we did. Dude, my heart sank. I gave the guy a hug. I told him thank you.
Oh, I wouldn't have said thank you. Maybe he was trying to take it. Why would he pick up the phone?
Okay, so we did call the phone. They said they went to the beach. They said they were gonna leave it there. They're like, yeah, we don't trust people like just leaving phones here.
Oh.
So they actually took the phone for them. Took it with them. I don't know if they're trying to steal it. I don't think they were.
I mean,
because they would have put it inside the car and whatnot. The car's literally right next. Like,
maybe I'm just being a little negative.
nah, I don't think they would have sold. They were actually a really nice couple. Shout out to
Okay.
them. But dude, when I saw they had my phone, I was like, yes,
But Apple
my baby.
came in clutch with the Find My.
Apple's trash.
feature. You're right, 100%.
Shout out, dude. That, and you know what I'm gonna start doing now? Every time I hang out with someone, I'm gonna share my location with them until for 24 hours
So that way you can always.
or until the day ends. Because
Mhm.
if anything happens, they can track my phone. Lesson learned.
Well, you could have also used if you know your if you know like your password for like Apple ID, you could use Find My iPhone. It was.
That's how she found me through Find My iPhone.
Oh, that's how she did. Okay, that's hard.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I share my location.
No, I'm saying in case like she wasn't there, you could have used any product, log into literally like iCloud and any product.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, seriously, any product. You
Wait,
type
when
in
I was trying to log into my iCloud, what happened?
it's
I don't know my password.
password. But but that's why it's good to do. So
No, I
'cause
do
you
know
can
it, I
literally
do know
log in even through Google, literally through Google. It doesn't have to be Apple product.
Oh, wow.
Log into my iCloud and you can literally locate where your phone is. You literally give you the exact location where your phone
Dude.
was lost.
Apple should make this thing where whenever you should be able to click a button inside Find My iPhone, and it should like convert to like Transformer and get spinning blades and just jump into the air
Dude.
and start like flashing
But that's
red
saying,
and
like,
yellow
Tony Stark
and like the
tech.
loudest horn ever.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, that's where my phone
Oh,
is.
that's no, or maybe like send it to your location, like wherever you logged into.
That's a little
That
too much work.
location. That's right, but transforming into a
Come
plane.
on, Jack. We're in 2021, not 2050.
And with that being said, guys, Danny has.
Nah, let's not end it off like
great
this. Maybe a
imagination.
little more. We talked about death and killing like the first half
With-
of this podcast.
With that being said,
That was so weird.
no, I mean that was a conversation that we had.
No.
Well,
It's fun. It's fun to just sit here and just have that just conversations. I hope you guys enjoy listening to us talk about crap.
what was that, bro?
What?
It's fun to just sit here and have a conversation, like I'm just busting your balls.
It is like I don't know.
It is. I
There's
miss
something
this.
about this podcast where it's just fun to like sit down.
I just say how big, bro.
to
She
my
has done this
BFF.
when we had all the time in the world when we were working at.
Dude, we should do a
Publix, bro.
24-hour podcast.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I would so be down live. People
You
to
know what
come.
I would love to do? We've talked about it before.
Was
Just
it?
going out in public, setting up a table, 2 seats, 1 extra chair, 1 extra mic.
Mhm.
Whoever wants to sit down,
Talk about whatever.
talk about whatever,
That's hard. I would so be down for that.
and then we can make them get up 12 minutes to restart your camera.
yeah, exactly, 100%. He's like, hey,
We'll
he's
do
like,
12-minute
one rule,
increments.
you have to get up and turn off that camera for 12 minutes. But aside from that, though, you can talk about anything.
That's fun.
That's it.
All right.
We should call it Let's Chat.
Let's chat.
Let's chat. But anyways, guys, Danny, please take it away.
With that being said, thank you all for watching, listening, subscribing, liking, commenting, doing all that good stuff. Jack, any not last words, I don't like saying that. Any final message? No, that's even worse. Would you like
That's
to tell them
even
anything
better.
at the end?
Any final message? Here's my message to you guys, right? I'm looking directly into your soul. And I want you to know you're amazing. You're incredible. And do not let people tell you otherwise.
I
Okay?
love that.
Go chase your dreams.
Why didn't you look at me while saying that?
Cause you're terrible. Cause not gonna listen to my advice. You don't chase your
Alright,
dreams.
peace out, yo. We love you so much
Woo!
for coming back every single time. Peace.